This sequence is really good for a warm-up before your workout, especially if you're doing a lower body day. You can also use it as a standalone movement sequence that you can just do if you're feeling a bit tight through the hips and through the upper back as well. So we're going to start with our hip 90-90s. We're going to flow from side to side, so we're really getting lots of internal and external rotation. We're going to start with the feet quite wide, hands behind you for a bit of support, chest staying tall. And we're just going to drop the knees from side to side. So just feeling a little bit of that rotation in the hips. You want to make sure your feet are far apart. If they're too close, you're not going to get the full rotation in each hip. So give yourself a lot of width. We're going to drop side to side, about 6 to 8 on each side. Just feel if there's any major discrepancies from one to the other. After you do about 6 or 8 on each side, you're going to drop down to one side, sitting up nice and tall. So we're in this nice 90-90 position in the legs. Make sure this foot isn't too far upwards. You want to bring it so it's just above the knee to the side. Sitting up tall, a light engagement through the core. I want you to bend forward through the hip. So make sure that you're not rounding through the back. To get into position, the movement comes through the hip joint. So stay nice and flat through the spine, lead with the chest, and then we're going to do a gentle roll out. So if you feel like you need to in the bottom, if it's a little bit tight or sticky, kind of hang out there, get a bit of a stretch. Think about your tailbone staying up. Make sure you're not tucking your tailbone under. And you're going to go for about 6 to 8 rolls in each position. So nice, slow control, really working on those tight spots. Then you're going to walk your hands a bit further behind you. Same thing here, bend through the hip. So strong core, and then bending through the hip as much as possible. Just so we're not only getting the low back, we also want to get the musculature through the hip. We should be feeling this for our glute, maybe a bit through our hamstring on that first leg in the front here. We're going to go for 6 to 8 in this position. Then we're going to go onto the back elbow. I always like to pull this foot towards my butt to really get open through that quad and through the hip. Squeeze your glute to open up that hip in the front. And then we're going to do nice big arm circles from the upper back. So I don't want you to just spin your arm. I want you to really work in the upper back, getting that rotation. So we're opening up through the T-spine, opening up a bit through the shoulder. We're going to go for about 6 or 8 rounds, depending on how tight you feel. And then we're going to come back to the start position, walk it around with a bit of support. You'll repeat on the other side for the same amount. So about 6 to 8 in position 1, position 2, and then the arm circles in position 3. Then we're going to move into a hip 90-90 without the arm support if you can. So we're going to start with the feet quite wide. We're going to bring the hands up in front. If you need support, you can keep your hands here, but we're going to try to move without the support. So arms come out in front, drop down, come up to extension, so really squeezing through the glutes, and then switching over to the side. Now, if you're feeling like you're a little bit too tight to do this, you can use your hands behind you and then in front of you to help lift you up into a supported position. But if you have the free mobility to do it without the support, I would definitely recommend doing that. So you're going to go for 6 to 8 on each side or more if it feels right for today. Making sure you're getting that full extension as you push all the way through at the top. After you complete that one, we're going to go into a rotation through the upper back while in that 90-90. So back to our start position, dropping down to one side. We're going to take that arm out back and reach pretty far away. Then we're going to do some rotation with this arm here. So thread the needle through and then rotate open, reaching all the way through. So we're really stretching through the upper back, a little bit through the low back. We're just trying to get some movement through the full body. So we'll go for 6 to 8 rotations here. Then you'll flip over to 6 to 8 on the other side as well. Then we're going to go into a kneeling hip hinge with the reach. So I'm going to go from the side. So we're going to have our knees stacked underneath our hips. Core is going to stay strong. We're going to work on bending through the hip. So make sure that you're not rounding or folding in the back. So core stays engaged, bend through the hip, and as you extend, we're going to reach overhead. So shoulders pulling back and down, and then reaching all the way through. So you want to think about this as we're activating through the glutes a little bit, through the upper back, just starting to fire on all of those muscles that we need for stabilization throughout our workout. Especially down here, I want you to work on arms staying straight, thumbs reaching up to the ceiling, and getting that engagement through the upper back. So you're going to go for 10 of those. Then we're going to come into a standing position. Standing on one leg, we're going to repeat that hip hinge with reach. Strong core, hinge forward, big stretch in the hamstring, and then drive the knee all the way through. So from the side, nice flat back, strong core, level hips, and pressing all the way through, Extend, stabilize, come through. If you want, you can use it, do a little bit of a pull with the knees, or drive the knee into the chest, and then reach out, pull it back in. So you want to go as far down as you can without falling over to really get a big stretch in the hamstring. So depending on how tight you are here, you might have to stop here if you're quite tight. If you have more flexibility, get a little bit further, just get down as far as you can with that full extension. You're going to go for 10 on each side. So that's it. That's your quick and easy full body warm up, or just a strictly mobility sequence if you're feeling a little bit tight through your hips and through your upper back.